Hello, everyone. It is a good day indeed. A good day indeed. I am thinking today about service and how we can serve the future. And I'm also thinking about what we love and how we can serve what we love. And I think that when we think about love, we also often think about our mythos or our life dream. So we don't only think about Eros or the god of love, but we also think about our mythos because that is also a part of what we've come here to do and a part of what we're here to engage with and to engage in. And so I always think about, how beautiful the mystery is. We are right now. We are in a time of true mystery, and there is a mystery to every day. There's a mystery to every moment. There's a mystery to the month. There's the mystery of the year. So every day we're faced with different mysteries, and it's just interesting to notice, how do I do with the mystery? How do I engage with the mystery? How do I explore the mystery? Do I trust the mystery? Is the mystery something that I trust? And so I think that those are all um, things that I'm thinking about now, and I'm also thinking about what do we really need to do right now in order to make a better world? Like, what's required of us? What do we need in order to make a world that we want to live in? But not only that we want to live in, but also, that our future generations want to live in. I have this poem that I want to read you. Actually, it's from an upcoming book called Honey Collections that should be coming out hopefully later this month. So I'm very excited about it. But this is a poem called Atlas Moth, and I became really mesmerized with the Atlas Moth, and I had the opportunity to meet some Atlas Moth several times in a pretty short period of time. I'd say within a year. And they're very interesting beings for many reasons. But one of the reasons that I found them so fascinating is that after they become a moth, and they're gigantic, they're like these huge moths, they no longer eat. They do all their eating while they are a caterpillar or in a larva stage. And then after that, they don't eat anymore, but they become these just like luminescent, magnificent creatures with like wings the size of my two hands. They're just like they're really, really big, amazing wings. And they're these beautiful beings, and they only live for, I believe it's 4 to 7 days. I'm pretty sure after they become a moth. And so it's just like how beautiful our lives are, and how sacred they are, and how we really are. All of us are only here for just such a short time, and how sacred that is, and how precious that is. And so I wanted to share this with you as I'm talking about serving life, and how can we serve life at this time. And Atlas Moth. A 7-day life, but the moments before eclosing 21 days of decadence, a swirling of green saffron, soft like snow over tiny body, but born this way, life in cadmium hue. This microcosm of crushing color, is it not an awareness of life? This microcosm of crushing color is not an awareness of life, but our own wings and death. This microcosm of crushing color is not an awareness of life, but our own wings and death, which lie in every motion, as though our soul is a moth with feathered antennae that feel what is coming and maybe dying its whole life. Leaf after leaf, petal after petal, this nighttime journey, a jubilant whisper to everything in its entirety, comes from the luminescent other world, swirling like cosmos in chrysalis, swirling like cosmos and chrysalis, like anything that yearns to pollinate and doesn't yet know what that is, and doesn't yet know what that is. For the arches of life it is leaving behind when it finds its freedom from the burdens of existence, and begins to float in one seamless exhalation over the threshold of the sky. Where life and death meet in their final enclosure, the Atlas moth can see the curve of the world as it lets go of the darkness, the light. It has been gathering into its body through the tunnels of citrus, privet, and cinnamon, trees of heaven, the forewing pressing against the back wing, celestial navigation urging the soft, scaled body onward with nothing to say, taking nothing new inside. But the apex tilts upward. Of course, now the reflections could be lost in the fist of shadow. But here we lift toward the sun, which is hidden from view and can only be seen in the stars. 4 to 7 days of life and perfect stillness, gathering luminescence, and when darkness comes, dancing, lilting, lifting towards death as though it is meant to be. Gathering luminescence, and when darkness comes, dancing, lilting, lifting towards death as though it is meant to be, as though it is meant to be. And that is from the upcoming book, Honey Collections, which should be, hopefully will be coming out this next month. And so when I was writing that poem, I was thinking about like, oh, what does it mean to have that amount of time? Like, how can you possibly have that amount of time? And when you know you have that amount of time, you know, that your entire being would be engaged in the totality and wholeness and completeness of life, and that life and death would really be together, that they would be known to one another, that they would be friends to one another, um, and simply something so great happens sometimes in such a short time. And so I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about, you know, all of the ways that we can make a better world, all of the ways that we can appreciate our present, but also what are the ways in which I can use my gifts and my talents, all of my life. How can I use all of my life to make a better world, and all of my experiences to make a better world? And it reminds me of David Richo's, there's a quote in one of his books, I believe it's How to Be an Adult in Relationship, where he says, you know, I want to pour all of my experiences into creating more love in the universe. And so how can I do that? How can I pour all of my experiences into creating more love in the universe? That's unconditional love. And so I think it would be important for us to ask ourselves, you know, what do I love? If I can look at what I love, like I love the Atlas moth, and I love the earth, and I love, you know, the water and the clouds and the sunset, and I want to do, you know, whatever I can to preserve those things so that future generations can enjoy them. And you know, there's a time when things really kind of stop being about us, and um, you know, and I think that now would be one of those times. But when things stop being about us, things start being about, you know, how can I serve the future? How can I serve those who aren't born yet? How can I use my life, my gifts, my talents, and what I love in order to serve the well-being of the future and to make a better world? And so I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about how can I best serve life, and how can I best serve to make a better world. And we all have gifts and talents that we're born with. We're all born with things that are completely unique to us, that are within us, um, that are not repeated in any other human being or creature or animal. And every being has that. Every being, I believe every being has that. Like, I've never seen two stones that are completely the same or alike. I've never seen two shells that are completely alike. I've never seen, anything, any being is not repeated in any other being in the world. And so, we can think about, well, how can my uniqueness serve all of these other unique beings that are in the world? And so we can think about, what we love. And what we know is we know that what we love is what we're here to serve. And we can gather our resources and uh, our energy and all of our lives to serve what will create and make a better place for all beings and all human beings. And we are a very unique and special and wonderful and amazing species, just like all of the other species. And what can we do to serve the future of this beautiful planet where we live? And so I really hope that this week you can just start to think about, what do you love? Because if you can find what you love, then you can begin to serve a future where we can all live together in a good way and create some harmony for future generations, so that they can listen to the soul of the world and have an outcome that is for the good of all. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Walk in beauty.